Hello everyone. I'm just going to make a short video for you to take you through the design stage of the Global Issues wooden puzzle so that you can understand that and come back to this and pause and work through these the stages of this design process as efficiently as you can. So you'll see the first page that we've got in our slides is that we need to, and we before we start designing, we need to sort out our specifications. Now, our specifications are really important because they will help us decide how we will know if our puzzle is successful. So we can't just go off designing puzzles willy-nilly. We've done some research into global issues, and we've decided on what issue we're on about. We've made a mood board. We've done some investigation into wood. We've done all the necessary background information now that we know. So now we need to say, well, how will I know if my puzzle is successful? And so we're going to have these lines of inquiry, and we're going to link them to some things here. So I'll show you an example in a second. But first of all, I've got to show my global issue, don't I? So someone needs to be able to look at my puzzle, my finished puzzle, and go, yeah, I can tell it looks about, global warming. We need to know about our materials. We need to know about our target group. I need to know that my puzzle works with grade 5 kids if that's who I'm designing it for. It's got to function well, it's got to be safe, it's got to be durable, it's got to be all these things are what we call design specifications. So let's take a look at some design specifications that other students have made. Okay, so this is the sort of thing that you're going to come up with in the next week as a first task to do. So my product is going to be made from, this one's saying MDF, we're going to use plywood and 10mm pine. It's going to be this size, okay, and the sizes that you'll find are in your slide sets, okay. 110, I think ours is actually 130 by 130, and it's going to be decorated. There's going to be a target audience, and the reason that they're having a target audience is that they want to raise awareness for something in particular, okay? So it's important that you justify and explain what your specification is, okay? You see I'm rocking my head from side to side because these match up. So my product should show my problem. It's about disabilities in this case, and then I'm going to use these tools and things. Let's have a look at a second design specification. So here we have, it's got aesthetics and a global issue, and it's going to be relevant. Okay, it's going to show these things. So she's looked up, she's done some research here, and she knows that this will be successful if da 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 da. And then I really like this column, and I would like you to add this column in. I will test this by. Okay, so I will ask people these questions. And that's why I know this is a real specification. If the specification can't be tested and you haven't decided how it can be tested, then maybe it's not such a good idea that it is a specification, because specifications are really, really important to this whole process. So the next thing here, the manufacturing limitations and the materials that we're going to use, okay? And you've got samples in the Google Classroom that you can go through and look at for this. And then the audience, so who is going to be my audience? This is going to relate to this audience. It's going to persuade them to do these things. This can get a little bit even more specific than this. And then how am I going to ask them? And then the function, is it safe, etc. Okay, so there's two examples of how to write the specification. Next, we will take a look at getting our initial designs and designs done. All right, here's the sheet that you'll be faced with. So you've got this overall pattern, and there's an example of a design. And this one's actually a finished design. It's not an initial design because it's quite neat. You'll notice that there's this 10mm border all around the outside. So if we say that it's 130 from here to here, from outside to outside, then the inside square is going to be, okay, 110. So I want you to draw yourself a box that's 110 on a nice clean white piece of paper, and then do your design in that. Then you can take a picture of that initial design, and then you can scan it and crop it. Remember, we need to crop and we need to present our things really neatly, and then you can put it into your slides. Alright, so here's some examples of 3 cropped images that have been they've been drawn on separate pieces of paper, they've been cropped, and put into here, and then there's some text about each one. We've got some annotations, okay, because we're trying to present our initial ideas that will help raise awareness. So these 3 ideas are about the global financial crisis and money, etc. Okay, and then she's discussed here, the person's discussed how each one of these initial ideas will go. So these are your initial ideas, and these are maybe a little bit neat. You could be a little bit more rough at this stage. Here's another way of showing your initial 3 ideas. You can add slides into your slide set if you like, but we've got our idea 1, idea 2, idea 3, and we've got an explanation on the right hand side. Alright, here's some ideas. I'll show you another format. These are done really, really well. The person's made a really good effort here. So, and they've got this idea of voting down the bottom. So when you're explaining each idea, you want to maybe have a look at the specifications and run the idea against the specifications. So we've got an idea, we've got some feedback from other people, we've pointed out some key features of that design. So I'll just have a look through a couple of different ideas here. Here's another one, same sort of formats going on, but this is idea 2, idea 3, starting to get some things, and then maybe here we say the stars are great, but maybe that's not going to be easy for us to do when we are, you know, you need to make some judgments here. When we make this thing, is it going to be visible? So maybe the stars will need to be changed. And then we need to come up against starting to be able to decide which idea we're going to choose. So there's another sample of some ideas and how they've been put together. Alright, so once we've chosen our design, okay, we need to say, alright, I'm going to choose design idea. You've been asked to present 4 ideas. So probably you can get away with 3 ideas, and then the final idea, the 4th one, can be the one that you've chosen. So with your final idea, you need to draw it again neatly. Okay, so you put it, you don't just cut and paste it in here. Make a newer version and try and develop then your idea. So you've got your initial 3. Then you look at those 3 and you go, what's the best one? And then you choose the one you think is the best, and then you draw it again, but you try to develop it and make it better. And you may even include something from design number 2 in that design. And then you have to run it against the specifications, draw a neat copy, and then tell us why you chose that idea. Okay, you need to tell us the reason why you chose that good idea. And you need to say in here how you did that. So here's an idea on how to develop your design. So I'm selecting the design, I'm choosing it, and I'm trying to develop it. This is the one that I think that's going to be happening here, and I try to make it better. This is another way you might get feedback from different people about your design. Then you develop your design and according to the feedback that you've got, and then you try to make it into the best design that you possibly can. Alright, so there's an example of how to go through developing a design specification, then coming up with initial designs, then choosing the best one of the initial designs and turning it into your final design. So if you follow this video, you should be able to get through that stage, and then the next video that we'll make will be about the next video will be about turning our design into a puzzle. So what we'll do is I'll either cut some things out for you if we're back at school, or you can cut out. So you can see here there's the puzzle, but we're starting to think about the actual pattern and the cutout stuff and how that will work. So that will show you how to do that in the next video. Okay, work hard and get the design stage done.